Greetings, Zain Facts fam. We are about to embark on a fascinating journey back in time. Picture vast North American landscapes from the icy Arctic to the scorching deserts. Early Americans faced these diverse environments head-on, developing survival strategies that would make Bear Grylls look like a Cub Scout. Before we dive into this wild ride, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Let's get started. Imagine yourself in North America 15,000 years ago. No grocery stores, no takeout. So how'd you eat? Well, the early Americans were like human Swiss Army knives. They were nomadic hunter-gatherers. Armed with nothing but their instincts and primitive tools, they chased after mammoths for a hearty meal. And when they weren't playing tag with these giants, they were nimble gatherers, picking berries, nuts, and roots. But the story doesn't stop there. As they migrated south, they encountered new challenges. In the arid Southwest, hunting mammoths was off the table. So they had to adapt, and adapt they did. They became desert opportunists. Their menu expanded to include small animals, insects, and surprisingly, cactuses. Yes, you heard that right. The prickly pear cactus was a desert buffet, providing both food and water. Talk about a lifesaver. Now let's fast forward a few thousand years. We see a game-changing moment in history. The rise of agriculture. In nutrient-rich places like the Mississippi Valley, early Americans discovered the magic of planting seeds. Corn, beans, and squash became the new staples. This shift from hunting and gathering to farming was a real game-changer. It meant that they could finally settle down, build communities, and create a more stable food supply. This journey from hunters to harvesters is a testament to the incredible adaptability of early Americans. They didn't just survive, they thrived, molding themselves to the demands of their environment and making the most of what nature had to offer. So the next time you're munching on a corn cob or a bowl of beans, remember the long journey these foods have made, from the wild fields of ancient America to your dinner table. And remember how our ancestors turned the challenge of survival into an art form. The shift to agriculture allowed early Americans to settle down, build communities, and create a more stable food supply. And that, my friends, is how you turn a desert into a dining table. Forget about cotton and wool. Early Americans had to work with what nature provided. Their clothing wasn't just about style, it was about survival. And it took a good deal of creativity and resourcefulness. In the cold and harsh climates of the North, they were the ultimate fur trappers. Animals like bison and caribou weren't just food sources, but also suppliers of precious hide. These hides, through skilled hands, were scraped clean, softened, and stitched together to form insulating cloaks and boots. It was a laborious process, but in the icy tundra, a well-made fur cloak could mean the difference between life and death. Now let's go from the cold north to the sizzling deserts. Here, animal hides were too warm, too heavy. So early Americans turned to the plant world. They carefully harvested fibers from plants like yucca, weaving them into light clothing and sturdy sandals. These weren't just garments, they were ingenious solutions to the challenges of desert life. And let's not forget about their creativity in adapting animal bladders and shells into water carriers. Because when you're in the desert, staying hydrated is just as fashionable as looking good. So, from bison hide cloaks to yucca sandals, early American fashion was all about survival. They were the original recyclers, finding ways to use every part of their environment to its fullest potential. Imagine you're in the Arctic with temperatures that would make your popsicle cry. How do you stay warm? Well, early Americans had a few ingenious solutions up their fur-lined sleeves. To combat the icy chill, they built tepees from animal skins and mammoth bones. These natural materials, heavy and wind-resistant, created an insulated haven against the cold. But they didn't stop there. They also tapped into the Earth's natural warmth by digging subterranean houses. These weren't your average basements, folks. They were cozy, underground homes that kept the cold at bay. But what if you're not in the Arctic, but rather the lush forests of the East Coast? Here, early Americans used the abundant wood to construct sturdy homes. They built robust wooden frames and covered them with bark or woven mats. These structures were perfect for sheltering families and weathering the harsh winters. And let's not forget the dwellings of the Southwest, where early Americans carved homes right into the cliff faces. These cliff dwellings provided not only shelter, but also defense against potential threats. These early Americans were true architectural trailblazers, using whatever materials they had on hand to create shelters suited to their specific environmental needs. Their homes were not just shelters, but testaments to their deep understanding of their environments. So the next time you turn up the thermostat, remember the ingenious ways our ancestors kept warm. Remember, Zain Facts fam, these are just a few examples of the incredible adaptability of early Americans. From hunting mammoths to harvesting corn, from crafting fur cloaks to weaving yucca sandals, from constructing teepees to building subterranean houses, they truly embodied resourcefulness. Their deep understanding of their environments allowed them to thrive, even in the most challenging of landscapes. So next time you're complaining about the grocery store being out of your favorite cereal, take a moment to appreciate the ingenuity of our ancestors. And for more mind-blowing history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.